Xbox Series X, fresh on the scene, $300, comes out in November. Size? It's small. It's like the size of 2 controllers. Now, why should we pick one of these up? Let's take a look at the reasons at the end of this trailer video. A lot of this is marketing buzzwords. If I take the stuff out that really doesn't matter, this is what you're left with here. I like how they list all digital as a point of interest as if this is some kind of bonus. The reason I buy console games at all now is to have a physical version of it, and they just completely stripped it out with this. Also, it's a 500 gigabyte hard drive. That could potentially cause a lot of problems for games in the future because, as we know with the PS4 generation, yeah, this is an Xbox related video and I called it the PS4 generation, sue me, is that video game compression has not been good. Take a look at Modern Warfare. It's like over 100 gigabytes just for the install, and that's not counting all the updates that they've done throughout the year. Basically, your storage is probably going to fill up fast, and this doesn't leave you a lot of room for error, and I think the upgrade storage is rumored to be like $200, so yeah, be ready for this $300 console to turn into a $500 console real quick. 1440p, that's if the game supported. A lot of PS4, Xbox One games didn't even run at 1080p. Variable rate shading, whatever the fuck that means. Variable refresh rate, basically just having to go along with the 120 FPS thing. Look, if any of that means anything to you, just go buy a PC. It'll be interesting to see how they implement that into a console, but yet we haven't ever seen that done, and I don't want to take that at face value, so I wouldn't say buy this on day one just based off of that merit alone. Ultra low latency, whatever the fuck that means. 512 gigabyte SSD. That's not a whole lot of storage whatsoever, especially in a modern time like now. My laptop has 500 gigabytes of storage and I hate it. 4K streaming media playback, for reference, that's really not hard at all for any console or PC to accomplish. It's just playing back video at 4K. You could buy a cheap 4K streaming box if you just wanted to watch TV in 4K or videos or movies in 4K. 4K upscaling for games can get a little more technical depending on their implementation of it, but for layman's terms, it basically just means that you could take a 1080p image and play it on a 4K TV, and that could technically be considered upscaling. It's not really anything too special or something that is worth being considered on this console. The PS4 Pro and Xbox One X have been doing 4K upscaling since their launch because they struggled to even come close to natively hitting 4K on a lot of games. More notably so the PS4 Pro, to be fair, but basically that's what upscaling is. So with everything being considered, should you pick up an Xbox Series S day one? I don't think so. Look, $300 being the starting price for a quote-unquote next-generation console is definitely interesting, but on the feature side of things, PC has been doing this for decades, and you can get them pretty cheap now. You could buy a $300 to $500 PC right now, get all the benefits of this Xbox Series S, and have a massive library. Yeah, it's cool that the Xbox Series S is going to support some Xbox One games out the gate, but if you were playing on PC, you could already play all of these games and more, so yeah. Xbox has made it pretty clear in recent years that they want to focus more on the live service model of things, so first-party support is going to be a little questionable, especially considering the Xbox One's lifespan and the fact that they're not launching with anything really with the Xbox Series S. They were going to have Halo Infinite, but again, that's been delayed, and you could again play that on PC already. Basically, at the end of the day, the thing about the Series S is that it's just a glorified PC. Every video game console is a glorified PC with a proprietary operating system. Playing games on PC isn't technically challenging or hard to figure out, but you get massive benefits over playing on console. Even if the graphics technically aren't better, you're not even considering frame rate into the equation, you're not considering mod support or massive library in equation. PC can be a little more of an expensive investment at first, but over time it's definitely going to pay for itself, and if it's something that you've been considering at all in between this and a next generation console, you should probably consider it now. At least with Sony, I could say, they're launching with things like Ratchet and Clank or maybe some other first party stuff that you're interested in that you can only play on a PlayStation 5. All I'm going to say is that if you're considering an Xbox Series X at all and you're considering the features that the Xbox Series S is touting, you should probably just be considering a PC in the first place. You can build a fairly competent PC for not a lot of money. You can get gaming laptops now for not a lot of money in comparison as to what they used to be. In my personal opinion, while it'll be a little interesting to see how they'll implement a game console having things like 1440p, 120 FPS, in my honest serious opinion, if you're going to spend the money to get like a 120Hz monitor, a 144Hz monitor to even take advantage of this type of thing, you should just be getting a PC. In my personal opinion, from what I can see, from what they've told us at this point in time right now, it's not worth your financial investment to pick one of these things up. It's not really an investment, but that's the best point I can make, I guess. All that being said, that was my hot take. I'll see you guys on the next video. Go watch some other stuff that I released because it's pretty good. Bye.